There are truths so powerful, so unsettling, that once you hear them, you can never return to who you were before. They act like keys to a hidden door, unlocking a world where the rules are different, harsher, and far more rewarding, if you know how to survive there. Most people live their lives blind to these truths, and perhaps they're better off that way. But you're here, and that means you're ready for something most people will never understand. Machiavelli once warned that the most dangerous knowledge isn't the kind you learn in school, but the kind that changes how you see people forever. This knowledge strips away illusions, revealing raw human nature, its ambitions, its fears, and its relentless hunger for power. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. It becomes part of you, shaping every move you make. In the world of influence, there are no neutral players. Every action either strengthens your position or weakens it. And while others wander through life unaware of the games being played around them, those who master these principles stand above the chaos, controlling the flow without anyone realizing. That's why this conversation matters. We live in an age where appearance often outweighs reality, where words are used as weapons, and silence can be more devastating than any confrontation. To thrive here, you must learn to control perception, bend narratives, and wield power in ways that seem effortless but are anything but. This is where Machiavelli's warning becomes your advantage. What you're about to hear is not a set of polite suggestions or feel-good affirmations. These are strategies forged in the crucible of political intrigue, survival, and dominance. They are timeless because human nature has not changed and never will. Those who apply them gain an edge so sharp it can cut through any opposition. But be warned, once you embrace this way of thinking, you'll find that your relationships, your ambitions, and even your sense of self will shift. You'll start to see the hidden motives behind smiles, the unspoken rules in every interaction, and the invisible hierarchy in every room you enter. It's a gift, but also a burden. If you're ready to step into that world, there's no turning back. This is the point where you either close the door and return to comfort, or walk through and claim the tools that will make you untouchable. The choice, as always, is yours. Power begins not with control over others, but with absolute mastery over yourself. Most people believe that strength is about dominating the external world, yet they remain enslaved to their own impulses, emotions, and fears. Machiavelli understood that until you become the ruler of your own mind, you are merely a pawn in someone else's game. Self-mastery is the foundation on which all influence is built. The world is full of individuals who speak of ambition but live in quiet chaos. They are swayed by every insult, distracted by every temptation, and shattered by every setback. Such people can never truly lead because they cannot even command themselves. If you wish to step into the realm of real power, you must cut the strings that control you from within. Control is not suppression, it is transformation. It means taking the raw energy of your desires and fears and shaping them into fuel for calculated action. It means pausing before you speak, choosing the silence that unnerves, and acting only when your move will have maximum impact. Every moment of hesitation you remove is a weapon sharpened. Machiavelli taught that a leader must not be predictable. Predictability breeds vulnerability, and vulnerability invites attack. By mastering yourself, you learn to act without revealing your full intentions. Your presence becomes unreadable, and that uncertainty is a form of psychological armor. The less they can anticipate you, the harder it is to defeat you. The journey to self-mastery demands discipline. It's about creating habits that strengthen the mind, reading strategically, analyzing quietly, and training your emotions to obey logic. These practices turn you into someone who can endure storms without flinching, while others crumble under the weight of pressure. That is the rarest kind of strength. Those who achieve this inner control begin to notice a shift in the way the world reacts to them. People listen more carefully, opponents hesitate, and allies feel drawn to your stability. The silent respect you command becomes more powerful than any loud declaration. Influence is no longer something you chase. It starts to flow toward you naturally. Understand this. Before you can shape the battlefield, you must shape yourself. Before you can win in the outer game, you must win the inner one. Every great strategist, every timeless leader began here, with the quiet, relentless work of mastering the only thing they could truly control: themselves. Influence begins the moment you understand that perception is reality. It doesn't matter what you truly are. It matters what people believe you to be. Machiavelli warned that the masses rarely search for truth. They settle for the most convincing image. If you can shape that image, you control how the world reacts to you. Too many people waste their energy proving themselves to those who have already formed an opinion. This is a fatal error. Instead, you must control the narrative from the start, presenting only the version of yourself that serves your goals. Everything else is irrelevant. Your words, your actions, even your silence must work together to craft the legend they will remember. This is not deception, it is strategy. You are not obligated to show the world every detail of your reality. By controlling the information they receive, you dictate how they will interpret it. Those who fail to do this become prisoners of public opinion, forever reacting instead of directing. Machiavelli understood that those who appear strong are often spared challenges, while those who seem weak invite attack. By cultivating an image of competence, confidence, and authority, you position yourself above unnecessary conflict. Enemies think twice before confronting you, and allies feel secure in following you. The art lies in balancing truth and mystery. Show enough to inspire respect, but never so much that they can predict your next move. Let your strengths be visible, but keep your strategies hidden. This keeps others in a state of uncertainty, which is fertile ground for influence. Once you master perception, opportunities will come without you chasing them. People will approach you with offers, partnerships, and respect, believing it was their idea. In reality, it was your image, carefully designed, that drew them in. This is power disguised as magnetism. Never forget, the way you are seen determines the way you are treated. If you fail to control perception, someone else will do it for you, and they will not have your best interests in mind. Craft your image like a weapon, and it will serve you for a lifetime. Power is rarely taken in a single bold move. It is accumulated quietly through small, deliberate steps that go unnoticed until it's too late for others to stop you. Machiavelli understood that the most dangerous player is the one who builds in silence, never revealing how far ahead they truly are. This is the art of strategic patience. Most people act in bursts of ambition, chasing instant results and showing their hand too soon. They seek validation before their work is complete, alerting competitors and inviting resistance. In contrast, the patient strategist works beneath the surface, strengthening their position while the world remains unaware of the full extent of their rise. Strategic patience is not passivity. It is controlled momentum. It means acting with precision instead of impulse, waiting for the moment when your move will have maximum effect. Each step is designed to build upon the last, creating a foundation so strong that when you finally reveal yourself, your dominance seems inevitable. Machiavelli warned against rushing into battles without ensuring victory is certain. Every premature move wastes resources and exposes weaknesses. By biding your time, you allow others to exhaust themselves, reveal their plans, and create openings you can exploit without risk. Patience also shapes your psychological presence. Those who can wait without showing frustration are unsettling to their opponents. It makes you seem confident, unshakable, and fully in control. This perception alone can be enough to make rivals hesitate. As you quietly build your influence, align your actions with your ultimate vision. Avoid distractions that offer short-term gains but weaken your long-term position. Remember, power that grows slowly is far harder to destroy. In the end, those who master strategic patience do not compete for opportunities. They create them. And when the moment comes to strike, it will appear to the world as if victory simply fell into your hands, when in truth, you had been crafting it all along. Silence is not the absence of power. It is one of its purest forms. Machiavelli understood that those who speak too much reveal not only their intentions, but also their weaknesses. In contrast, those who master silence force others to fill the void with their own assumptions, often overestimating or fearing what they cannot see. In a world obsessed with constant expression, the person who speaks sparingly stands out. Every word you choose to withhold becomes a form of control, keeping others uncertain and off balance. This uncertainty is a weapon. When people cannot predict you, they cannot effectively oppose you. Silence also amplifies your presence. When you speak rarely, your words carry more weight. People lean in, eager to catch every detail, because they know you do not waste breath on the meaningless. In this way, silence turns even simple statements into instruments of influence. Machiavelli knew that silence could protect you from premature exposure. While others rush to declare their plans, you work in the shadows, avoiding unnecessary opposition. Your enemies cannot fight a war they cannot see. Beyond strategy, silence grants you a psychological advantage. It allows you to observe without distraction, reading intentions, fears, and desires in ways talkative people miss. This deep understanding gives you the ability to act with precision when the time comes. However, mastering silence is not about withdrawal. It is about timing. You choose the moments when breaking silence serves you best, striking with words that cannot be ignored. This is when silence transforms into impact. In the end, those who learn to weaponize silence become unpredictable forces. They hold the tension in every room they enter, commanding respect without demanding it, and shaping outcomes without ever revealing their full hand. True authority is not given. It is taken and then reinforced through consistent demonstration of strength. Machiavelli taught that people follow those they believe cannot be easily challenged. This belief must be built not only through decisive actions, but also through an unshakable presence that makes opposition seem futile. Most people confuse authority with position, thinking a title alone grants them lasting influence. But without the ability to command respect, titles crumble. Real authority comes from the perception that you are both capable of leading and capable of defending your position against all threats. To build this, you must project certainty in everything you do. Doubt is contagious. If you show it, it will infect those around you. By acting with conviction, even in uncertain situations, you instill confidence in your allies and hesitation in your adversaries. Machiavelli understood that visible demonstrations of control are essential. This doesn't mean ruling through fear alone, but ensuring that everyone knows your boundaries are non-negotiable. When lines are drawn clearly, those who might test you think twice before crossing them. Authority also demands consistency. You cannot be unpredictable in your values or discipline. The moment your actions contradict your words, you create openings for rivals to undermine you. Consistency creates stability, and stability strengthens loyalty. Over time, a reputation for strength becomes self-sustaining. People begin to treat you with deference, not because of what you are doing now, but because of what they believe you are capable of doing if provoked. This perception becomes your shield. In the end, true authority is a fortress built on perception, conviction, and unwavering discipline. Those who master it don't need to constantly prove themselves. Their presence alone commands the room. Every move you make sends a signal, whether you intend it or not. Machiavelli knew that perception often matters more than reality. People will act based on what they believe about you, even if it isn't true. The wise strategist shapes these perceptions deliberately, crafting an image that works in their favor. Your reputation precedes you. It enters the room before you do, influencing how people approach, trust, or fear you. Those who ignore this truth allow others to define their narrative, but those who actively shape it can control the terms of every interaction. Crafting perception is not about lying. It is about selective truth. You choose which parts of yourself to display and which to keep hidden, ensuring that what people see aligns with your strategic objectives. This way, even your flaws can be reframed as strengths in the eyes of others. Machiavelli warned that a single careless act can undo years of careful image building. That is why consistency is vital. Every appearance, every word, every decision should reinforce the identity you wish to project. Perception is also a form of leverage. If people believe you are stronger, wiser, or more influential than you are at the moment, they will treat you accordingly. This treatment often creates real opportunities to grow into the very image you've projected. The key is to maintain mystery. Never let others feel they have fully figured you out. The more they speculate, the more power you hold over their thoughts and decisions. Predictability makes you vulnerable. Uncertainty makes you untouchable. In the end, those who control how they are perceived can shape the battlefield before the fight even begins. Victory often goes not to the one who is strongest, but to the one who is seen as impossible to defeat. Control is never truly seized in a single moment. It is accumulated in small, deliberate steps. Machiavelli understood that power is rarely lost all at once. It erodes slowly when you neglect the details. That is why those who wish to dominate must guard even the smallest aspects of their domain. Small lapses invite larger challenges. When you allow minor infractions to go unchecked, you teach others that your boundaries can be tested. The moment your standards become negotiable, your authority begins to weaken and the decay spreads. True control requires vigilance. You must remain aware of every shift in alliances, every subtle change in behavior, every rumor that circulates. These small signals often reveal larger threats long before they fully emerge. Machiavelli advised that leaders address problems while they are still small. Acting early not only prevents escalation, but also demonstrates decisiveness. In power, hesitation is often more damaging than an imperfect solution. Discipline plays a central role. When you apply rules evenly and without favoritism, you reinforce the idea that your authority is rooted in principle, not preference. This predictability builds trust among allies and caution among rivals. However, control is not about suffocating those around you. It is about creating an environment where disorder cannot gain momentum. This balance between firmness and adaptability is what keeps your influence intact over time. In the end, maintaining control is less about grand displays of dominance and more about constant, quiet reinforcement. Those who master this art rarely need to fight to keep power because they never allow it to slip away in the first place. In strategy, patience is a weapon just as sharp as speed. Machiavelli knew that the most decisive victories often come from those who can wait for the exact moment when their opponent is most vulnerable. Acting too soon wastes opportunity. Acting too late invites defeat. The skilled strategist resists the urge for immediate gratification. Instead, they observe, study, and prepare while others rush blindly into action. This deliberate stillness creates the illusion of inaction, while in reality, every move is being calculated. Timing is the invisible hand that turns small advantages into overwhelming triumphs. A well-timed step can topple an enemy far stronger than you, while a poorly timed one can destroy years of effort in seconds. Machiavelli warned that opportunity rarely comes announced. It often disguises itself as chaos or crisis. Those who panic in such moments miss their chance. Those who remain calm see the hidden path to victory. Patience also allows your rivals to make mistakes. By giving them space to act, they reveal their weaknesses, overextend their resources, or expose their intentions. When you finally strike, your blow lands with maximum impact. However, patience is not the same as passivity. Waiting without preparation is simply wasting time. The wise leader uses every quiet moment to gather strength, sharpen their skills, and secure their position. In the end, mastery of timing is the difference between chasing opportunities and creating them. Those who understand when to hold back and when to act shape the flow of events instead of being swept away by it. Conflict is inevitable, but how you approach it determines whether you emerge stronger or weaker. Machiavelli understood that not all battles are worth fighting, and not every enemy should be confronted directly. Strategy often lies in choosing which wars to wage and which to avoid. A direct clash can drain your resources and expose your vulnerabilities. Sometimes it is far more effective to weaken an opponent indirectly through alliances, influence, or subtle shifts in perception that erode their position without open confrontation. The art of indirect conflict allows you to remain in control of the battlefield without stepping onto it. This creates the impression of power without the cost of constant fighting, preserving your strength for when it is truly needed. Machiavelli advised that the best victories are those achieved without a fight. By maneuvering skillfully, you can make your rivals defeat themselves, either through their own mistakes, their impatience, or the pressure of forces you have quietly set in motion. However, avoiding direct conflict does not mean avoiding all action. You must still be present, influential, and decisive in shaping the circumstances so that the outcome unfolds in your favor without open war. Indirect strategies also confuse and exhaust your enemies. When they cannot predict your next move or even see your hand in the events around them, they waste energy fighting shadows instead of striking at you. In the end, the most dangerous opponent is the one who wins without revealing how. By mastering the art of indirect power, you turn every conflict into a game played on your terms, and you remain untouchable. Power without control is fleeting. Machiavelli understood that the true challenge is not in gaining influence, but in sustaining it against time, rivals, and unforeseen change. Those who fail to adapt inevitably watch their authority crumble. The foundation of lasting power is constant self-awareness. Leaders who regularly assess their strengths, weaknesses, and surroundings can adjust their strategies before threats become unmanageable. Complacency is the silent killer of influence. Adaptation does not mean abandoning your principles. It means reshaping your tactics to fit new realities while keeping your core intact. This balance allows you to remain relevant even as circumstances evolve. Machiavelli warned that the environment will always shift, whether through political upheaval, changing alliances, or emerging rivals. The leaders who endure are those who treat change as an ally rather than an enemy. Flexibility also keeps you unpredictable. When others cannot anticipate your moves, they cannot effectively counter them. This unpredictability forces opponents to react to you, placing them in a constant defensive position. But adaptability requires preparation. You cannot pivot effectively in the middle of a crisis unless you have already built the mental, emotional, and strategic resilience to do so. Planning for change before it arrives is the hallmark of a lasting leader. In the end, survival in the realm of power belongs to those who evolve without losing themselves. Master the art of controlled adaptation, and your influence will not only survive, It will grow stronger with every challenge. Power, strategy, and influence are not static achievements. They are living forces that must be cultivated, protected, and adapted over time. Machiavelli's teachings remind us that mastery comes not from luck or brute force, but from deliberate, calculated action. Throughout history, the most enduring leaders were those who understood human nature, anticipated challenges, and shaped events to their will. They did not simply react to the world, they reshaped it in their image. Every lesson you have learned here is a tool, but tools alone are useless without the wisdom to know when and how to use them. Timing, patience, adaptability, and the art of indirect action all converge into a single truth. Control begins within. Machiavelli's warning is clear. Those who fail to master themselves will always be mastered by others. Self-discipline is not just a virtue, it is the foundation upon which all other strategies are built. Yet self-mastery does not mean isolation. It means forging alliances, learning from rivals, and using every interaction to sharpen your mind and expand your reach. Influence grows in the spaces where insight meets opportunity. If you apply these principles consistently, you will no longer be at the mercy of circumstances. Instead, you will bend circumstances to your advantage, turning even setbacks into opportunities for greater power. In the end, the game of power is not about playing harder, it is about playing smarter. And the one who learns to command both the battlefield and themselves will always emerge victorious.